Hey y'all, how's it going? This is just a breezy chat, and this is a bonus episode. I thought about doing this on season 8, but I was like, no, I have to share it now. I feel in my heart it's time to share it now. But if you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe. Come help a girl out. But you're probably wondering why it's called My Journey Back to God. Well, today we're going to be taking a trip down memory lane to begin with, but we're also going to be talking about my journey back to God because, believe it or not, I wasn't always a Christian. And at one point, I declared myself an atheist at one point in my life. But I fully surrendered myself, which I will get to a little bit later. But here's the thing. I really felt like this was on my heart to talk to you guys about and even do like a bonus episode about because I feel like it's important that we need to learn that everybody's journey with God isn't the same. Ooh, that's terrible. That's okay. We're on my bed also because I just didn't feel like walking over to my desk, as you could tell. But anyway, but when I was a kid, I was baptized as a Methodist at Hoboken Methodist Church in this little town called Sweetwater, Alabama. And this is rural Alabama. Let's go ahead and put that out there. Basically, I'm from like the further off the interstate you can get. So how did I end up here in the Nashville area? We'll get to that point a little bit later. But anyway, I was living with my grandparents because my grandparents there was a bit of rivalries between the Jowers and the Gates, so we need to go ahead and clarify that. So my grandparents ultimately on the Jower side ended up having custody of me and my sister. And we would be with our real dad after he moved out. But that's a different story for a different time. But I lived so with my grandparents, of course, we went to church every Sunday, even the whole vacation Bible school. We also got baptized at an early age, which without we didn't I didn't for me personally, I fully really feel like I didn't fully comprehend it what that meant. I just knew it would make my grandparents very happy to get baptized. So when I went to go live with my real dad and stepmom at the time, I quit going to that church, and I would occasionally get drug along with my sister and stepbrothers at the time to a church in Thomasville, Alabama, and everything. And I would go to VBS as a child with several other churches in the Pine Hill, Grove Hill, Thomasville area. So when I say the further off the interstate you can get, I fully mean it. Oh, y'all like the haircut, by the way. I needed to change, trust me. But yeah, so when I was in about third grade, after a couple of years of not going to my mom and stepdad for reasons that will stay behind closed doors, um, we started to visit them every weekend and every so we would start to visit them every other weekend and on every other holiday. You know, normal schedule, right? Well, um, so and I also remember that we would meet them at this little gas station in Linden, Alabama. Like I said, further off the interstate, y'all, I can get. I'm not joking when I say that, y'all. Um, and it was there as a child. I was so excited to see them. We would attend Forkland United Methodist Church in Forkland, Alabama, and we lived there until um, let's see, yeah, and we lived at this dirt road at the very behind the church at the very end of it. So you literally had to go down the dirt road over the railroad track to get to us. At that time I loved being isolated. I didn't like having to live near a train, but once you live near a train, you grow up like accustomed to the sound, so you just tune it out. But anyway, I remember the day that my bio dad sent my sister and I to live with my mom and stepdad, and I was, and it was after his wife slash kind of left, but anyway, me and my stepmom did not have a very good relationship. She hated me from the get go. I was the redhead stepchild that she did not want, that she got stuck with. But that's a story for a different time. But he literally told us that I can't afford to love and feed y'all anymore. Like, who tells that to a child? Who really tells that to a child that, oh, as much as I want to, I just can't afford to right now? Like, and everything. Yeah. And of course, that was no wrong to him on that part. So, it was, that really also kind of takes a toll on you as a kid. Like, you just can't tell a child that. You can't, no matter what. Like, a child needs love and a child needs support and everything. And they don't need to blame you thinking, oh, you're the reason I can't afford to feed you right now, stuff like that. Like, yeah. But it was then that we were living with my mom and stepdad and visiting him every other weekend. I was about 12 or 13 when I finally quit having something to do with him. Now, let's fast forward to my sophomore year of high school. I was truly struggling with my faith in God. I declared myself an atheist for about 4 or 5 years. I was so angry with God for my home life, and I just really wanted Him. And I just really, like I said, oh my gosh, I'm crying thinking about this. Like my home life was so unstable, so not the best home life that any child should be in. But it was now. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, I didn't realize I was gonna cry talking about this. I'm trying so hard to keep it together right now. But anyway, like I said, I was so angry. I just wanted my home life better, and I was praying constantly for it, and nothing was coming about. But anyway, it was not until I was about 21 and I was at Wallace State Community College in Hansville, Alabama. Now you're probably thinking, how did I get from rural Alabama to North Alabama? Story for a different day, and everything. But I started participating in campus ministries, and it was there that I would find myself starting to believe in God again. I also is where I surrendered myself to God. And that time I wasn't like fully surrendered, but I started to believe in Him again, and I wanted to start living my life for the better. So I would eventually join what would become my family's church, because they would eventually become the family that I claim as an adult, like my unofficial adopted family, as I call them. You'll hear me talking about them a lot and everything. But this church would be called Good Shepherd Community Church in Hayden, Alabama. Now, a few years ago, after having my heart broken by a guy who was never going to see me as anything more than a friend, because I'm just that girl who gets friend zones. I'm okay with that. But it also led to me fully surrendering my life to God. As silly as that may sound, um, and everything. And it was then that it was also at that moment, like I remember lying in bed saying to myself, the next guy I like was gonna be one that God sent for me. And it was after that I got into this college in Nashville and everything, which is how I basically ended up here. And I was so scared to go because I had built my own family in North Alabama. Like I was so happy, like I was finally stable and everything. And that's something I always wanted as a kid, stability. But anyway, oh gosh, my parents and my brothers. So this is my adopted mom and dad and the little brothers that honestly I promise you, if you did not know we were not biologically related, you would think we were because we act a lot alike and everything. But we went to go tour the school in Nashville like the Monday after and everything because I had to make a decision if I wanted to go that fall or whatnot. But because I was on the fence and everything, and ultimately, so it was when I was visiting the college that day. We also celebrated my birth week, um, and that I decided that Nashville was it for me. Like I love Nashville. Like there's something every time I go to visit, it always brings me peace. But I also knew leaving my family was gonna be the hardest thing for me to do. But I knew it was what God was calling me to do. So I ultimately did not decide on going to that school in Nashville. I ended up at a school outside of Nashville that I love, and it's where I'm currently at now since last summer and everything. So, but yeah. But I think when you're a kid, when you're baptized at a young age, without you don't really have like a full comprehension of what that truly means. Like I know a lot do it because it makes their parents happy and everything else, but I think you should wait a little bit older before you get baptized, honestly. And I think that it took me, as I call it, the miscommunication years of God to fully surrender myself and become my full circle moment. Now, my journey with God was not an easy one, but it was important enough for me to be part of my story and my way of just my life in general. And I still struggle with personal issues, but no matter what, I will always keep my faith in God. Like, there's been some hard times, but it's like I've never lost faith in Him. I pray every night and everything else. I'm still looking for a church home here in the city I live in. But anyway, I don't do mega churches, and that's the thing. But anyway, when I wasn't see, and it also like here's something I also want to note that when I have children, I want them to go to church with me. I don't want them to feel the pressure to get baptized because I want them to do it. I want them to be able to fully comprehend what that means to get baptized and know that decision is going to be ultimately up to them and if they feel like if God is calling them to do it. And I think like, and I also think it's important that everyone has their own journey in relationship with God. And I think that it's important to understand that not everyone has that same relationship. And I feel like that is something that's often misconstrued in a lot of ways. But yeah, but that is it for this bonus episode. Thank y'all for listening and tuning in on my journey. If you're struggling with your faith, just know you'll get there at the right time in your life when you really need to go down that road. Go down that walk. Everyone's journey is different, and I support you. I don't cast a judgment unless you put pineapple on your pizza. That's about it. But thanks, guys. I will see y'all next time.